No, we're gonna start.
I'm a process stuff, and I put out there and it's got, they took it to only 14. So they looked in the blanket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's how they do it.
Thank you. Have the meeting started? Hello? Hello?
It is Sergeant Theodore San Joaquin Sheriff. I don't think they've started the meeting quite yet. We're all just kind of on standby.
Okay, thank you.
Here we go. It is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. The time is 2:06 p.m. And the Board of Housing Appeals of San Joaquin County will come to order. Roll call, please.
Member Estrada?
Here.
Member Norris?
Here.
Member Muniz?
Here.
Member Sanguinetti?
Present.
Okay.
And then don't do nothing, don't talk, or don't do anything.
I'm sorry?
I wasn't called.
Hello?
Yes, we're starting the meeting now. We just did roll call, so if you could hold on a minute, and we'll start moving along and hopefully get you
okay,
right.
I just hold the phone, right?
Put your phone on mute. Thank you.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, put your
You say
phone
that
on
I
mute.
just hold the phone.
Yes, just put your phone on mute until we call you, okay, ma'am?
Mute.
Yes.
Or wait quietly until.
Can I just keep the phone on my ear and wait?
You certainly may, ma'am, as long as you don't talk until we call your name or your item comes up on the agenda, okay?
Okay, all right.
That sound good?
Or I can hang up and you call me back or no? Mute. I don't know how to use mute.
Yeah, I wouldn't hang up, I don't think. Just kind of hang loose till your item comes up, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
And
Go ahead.
I wasn't called during roll call.
Oh, no. The roll call is for the members of the board, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Mr. Strong,
Did we answer your question so we can move forward now? Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to give an instruction.
You answered somebody else's question. You already answered my question. I'm going to just hold my phone.
Yes, we've had a suggestion from Ms. Norris on explaining how the board meeting will be handled today. So maybe get someone from staff to explain the process to everybody who's online.
I'm happy to help.
This is Marion Norris. So here's how it's going to happen. We will be reading the agenda. We will be reading a report. We will receive a staff report. The commissioners will request any other information. And then once all that is received, we will ask for comments from the public. At that time, you can introduce yourself, and once you're recognized, you can speak to the board. Your questions will only be directed to the board, not to the members in the audience, nor to the staff. And then we will deliberate and make a decision. And we'll help you along the way once it's your turn. Any questions?
Okay.
Until then, everyone needs to until that time, you either need to sit quietly and listen or mute your phone and wait until you're called. And then we'll struggle through together.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Norris,
All right,
for
thank you.
that. Thank you very much for explaining that to everybody. Appreciate that. Okay, moving down the agenda. I presume that we all had a chance to look at the minutes from our previous meeting. And do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting in November 20th, 2019?
I make a motion that we accept them.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Muniz to accept the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, and I have the second. Roll call.
Member Estrada?
Yes.
Yes.
Member Norris? Member Muniz? Member Sanguinetti?
Yes.
My wife's Italian. I should get that.
Any way you want to
Sanguinetti.
say it's fine. I know what you're trying to
I'm sorry.
Okay. Great. So that motion was carried. I'm going to move down the agenda a little bit to item 4, which is the consent calendar. We have 158 items in there. Do we have a motion to accept those all en masse? I presume we've all had a chance to review them. Do I have a motion to accept them en masse?
I'll make the motion. We accept the consent calendar for confirmation of statement of expenses, all items as listed in the staff report.
Very good. I have a motion to accept those by Mr. Sanguinetti. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Norris. Roll call.
Member Estrada,
Yes.
Member Norris,
Yes.
Member Muniz,
Yes.
Member Sanguinetti.
Yes.
Okay, so the majority of the meeting is going to be handled online, but we do have somebody here who is ready to appear before us. So again, once again, we're going to jump the agenda here and move to item 5 for this one item only, the continued calendar. This is item 5 on the continued calendar. It's a continued abatement hearing from the January 15th, 2020 Board of Housing Appeals hearing concerning the substandard structures located at 9003/9011 East West Ripon Road, Manteca, California. APN 226-15016. Owners Norman and Bonnie Guerin. Beneficiaries none. Case number Paul Robert 054-2512, District 5. Staff?
Notices of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing were sent by certified mail to all owners and beneficiaries on May 6, 2020. The property was posted on May 7, 2020 with the notice of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing. The owner was given over 30 days to correct the violations existing on the structure. The San Joaquin County Environmental Health Department, EHD, received a complaint on October 16, 2017 regarding an occupied recreational vehicle. On October 20, 2017, the EHD conducted an inspection and observed an occupied motorhome connected with an electrical connection. A recreational vehicle notice to abate was issued at that time, and the complaint remained open until the San Joaquin County Community Development Department notified the EHD of a fire-damaged single-family dwelling, SFD, at this property on January 9, 2018. On January 19, 2018, the EHD conducted an inspection of the fire-damaged SFD and posted it with a notice in order to abate and a notice to vacate. On February 13, 2018, EHD staff spoke with the owner's daughter, Valerie Guerin. Ms. Guerin stated that her father, Norman Guerin, passed away in the summer of 2017 and that she has power of attorney over her parents' property. Ms. Guerin said that they do not plan on repairing the house, but still have a lot of her parents' belongings in the house that they want to keep. She stated that it was difficult to take care of the property because she was caring for her mother, who now lives with her in Merced. On April 20, 2018, Valerie Guerin came to the Environmental Health Department. Ms. Guerin had just came from the San Joaquin County Community Development Department to inquire about obtaining a demolition permit. She determined that approval from the EHD and Air Pollution Control District was required before the demolition permit would be issued to her. Ms. Guerin indicated that she would start calling for demolition bids at that time. On October 4, 2018, a site status check inspection with the community service team was conducted. The fire-damaged house remained vacant and secured. However, there was no noticeable progress or repairs. On November 5, 2018, EHD staff spoke with Valerie Guerin. Ms. Guerin indicated that she may sell the property even though her brother, John Guerin, wants to repair the fire-damaged house. A compliance schedule and agreement form was emailed to Ms. Guerin to complete and send back. On January 22, 2019, EHD staff spoke with Ms. Guerin. She wanted to know what she needed to do to convert the fire-damaged house into a storage-only unit. She was instructed to contact the Community Development Department to learn what requirements she needs to make the conversion under permit. EHD staff also reminded Ms. Guerin to complete and return the compliance schedule and agreement form. On April 12, 2019, a site status check inspection with the community service team was conducted. There was no noticeable progress with the fire-damaged house. On July 11, 2019, Ms. Guerin came to the EHD. EHD staff explained to her that she may need to have another fire inspection from the Community Development Department to find out what permits are needed. Ms. Guerin was reminded again to complete the compliance schedule and agreement form to stop the quarterly site status checks. On August 15, 2019, a site status check with the community service team was conducted. The tenants of the mobile home, Paul and Sharon Stender, were on site to show EHD staff around the property. There was no noticeable progress to the fire-damaged house. Paul stated he wanted to repair the house. However, he said his sister-in-law, Valerie Guerin, will not allow him to obtain repair permits. Since January 18, quarterly checks of the county's permit database have shown neither repair nor demolition permits have been obtained by the owner. The substandard condition of the home is acting as an ongoing nuisance requiring ongoing public resources. The dwelling requires extensive repair, and the owner has not taken any action to abate or resolve the violations. This case is being brought before the San Joaquin County Board of Housing Appeals to obtain authorization for the Environmental Health Department to abate the nuisance by demolition. The Environmental Health Department recommends the board to confirm the findings of the violations for the postage structure and authorize the Environmental Health Department to initiate the appropriate actions or proceedings consistent with the case conditions, to include the vacation and demolition of all postage structures and appurtenances thereto, the removal of refuse, debris, solid waste, scrap metal, and hazardous waste from the premises, and or proceed with further enforcement action as warranted. End of report.
Thank you. Yes?
An activity with building for a demo or a permit to reconstruct the fire damage.
Has there ever been?
There was an inspection for the fire damage back on January 8th of 2018, and that was the last.
But no permit application?
No.
Okay, thank you. Do we have the sheriff online?
Yeah, Sergeant Theodore, San Joaquin Sheriff present.
How you doing, Sheriff? Okay, Sergeant. Do we have any issues with this property?
We have a few calls for service. I was present for the inspections with environmental health shortly after the occupied RV was vacated after being posted by environmental health. Shortly thereafter, the person was residing back at that location, and we had some calls for service related to that subject as being a wanted subject, and he had fled from us multiple times. A lot of trash, garbage, and so forth throughout the property. And then obviously the issues that you guys already mentioned.
Okay. Aside from the inspections, what were the natures of the calls for service out there?
So the gentleman that was residing in the trailer upon initial contact was shortly after that first contact determined to be wanted. And we had gone to the location several times to locate the subject. At one point he fled in a vehicle. Another point he fled through the property. And there were some issues with contact with the residents at the location and garnering cooperation with not only ensuring that the subject surrendered, but that the subject was no longer permitted to reside in the RV on the property due to the previous post from environmental health, and those warnings were not heeded to.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant. All right. Is there someone who wishes to address the board regarding this matter?
I do, Your Honor.
Come on up, please. Who's ever going to address the board? And
my name is Valerie Guerin. I'm the POA of my parents' property.
Okay. Hold on one second, please. Yeah, I think. Hold on one second, ma'am. We're talking about a different matter.
Okay.
No? Oh, she is? Okay, so she's participating in this? Very good. Okay, so let's start off here kind of orderly. So the party that's on the telephone, could you please state your name, please, for the board and your interest, I guess, in the property?
Yes. My name is Valerie Kieran, and I'm the POA for my parents. I am in charge of the property.
Okay.
And your address, ma'am? Can you state that for our record?
9265 Gillette Avenue, Merced, California, 95341.
Thank you. And okay, and then we have three other individuals here. You all intend to address us regarding this matter? Or is Valerie going to be the one representing the property?
I'll be the one representing the property.
You're from...
Oh, they can all, okay. Well, let's start with Valerie, okay? And then we'll move down the line. All right? All right, Valerie, what do you wish to advise the board of regarding this matter?
Thank you. The timeline that the gentleman laid out is correct as far as I know it. I don't have a whole lot of, I'm not sure, I can't think of the word. I don't have good reasoning for this taking so long, other than there's a lot of family members involved and want different things and believe different things are what's best. So originally, I believed that it was best to tear the building down. My mom was never going to return there. I didn't want to use her funds to try to fix a house that she's never going to live in again. But we just can't get there. We all grew up in that house.
Okay. So,
I have decided to make the repairs to bring it back up to code. I have contacted a contractor. He's supposed to do an initial bid on the 26th. And so hopefully from there we will be bringing the house back up to code. And then
Valerie, excuse me.
Also,
when you said the 26th, did you mean of this month? Like?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and continue, Valerie.
And then regarding the other issues, I wasn't aware that there were these contacts with the law. That's discouraging to hear. And then the general state of the property. Several of us have worked and worked and worked to try to clean that up. And primarily my brother, who lives there, just will not cooperate with that. And we've tried many different things. We've looked at legal stuff. We're kind of at our wit's end to be able to address that without his cooperation, you know.
Okay. Is there anything else you wish to say, ma'am?
So I would like for that to be all cleaned up. Well, I want that to be all cleaned up, and I want it to be a respectable property again. I'm not sure how to go about that.
Mr. Chairman, I have a few questions, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Valerie, my name's Jeff Sanguinetti, one of the board members, and my questions to you is you're telling us you want to basically improve the house, not demolition it. And you're receiving a bid on the 26th of this month, and you want to clean up the property, but if I heard you right, you're having troubles with your brother on getting anything done on the property, cleaning it up or anything, or did I mishear that?
Yeah, most of the blight, some of that belongs to my parents, or at least I believe there are still things that belong to my parents. I haven't been there in quite some time. I'm pretty much homebound with my mom.
My question.
But most of the blight out there belongs to my brother, and he just will not remove it.
Okay. So there's that. We have that issue, the blight that between you and your brother are having issues getting that cleaned up. That's still that's an issue that we have as a nuisance in that. My question, I have a few more questions really. You have one bid coming in or multiple bids?
Well, so far I have only contacted this one.
So you have one bid,
company.
One bid. What happens if that bid is out of range and you can't afford to go with that bid? Are we left holding the bag, waiting longer?
Well, no. Then I would contact other companies.
So so that brings us back.
I did do some research, and it sounds like this company is very fair. So I'm not really expecting that to happen. But if it was ridiculous, then we would just move on to the next company. You know.
Okay, and where I'm going with that is it leaves us with a continuous time problem. In that, and what we have up here, because this is before this board, we have the authority to set our own time frames, and if you don't comply, staff is actually recommending demolition of the property in their staff report. So, I mean,
right.
We do have some authority to do whatever we choose and see fit. So what I'm looking for is some reasonable answers. Nobody wants to tear anybody's property down if they can demonstrate there's a goodwill and the possibility that it's going to get fixed. And the county doesn't want to do that. That's part of the reason why you've been given so much time. Is it's not really what the county staff wants to do to people. Regardless.
Right, I understand, and you guys have been incredibly generous. I can't believe how much time we have gotten. I totally agree.
But as time passes, you realize there's a bill that's going to be coming to you from the county. If not, you probably may have already received bills in that, and that becomes a lien on the property if it doesn't get paid, too. Realize that, right?
Okay.
And they're doing quarterly inspections with a team, and that runs up a bill, and that with so many years of it being done now, I mean, I'm sure that bill's not going to be cheap. So you need to recognize that. Okay. So I'm not sure who the other people are in the audience, but I do have some serious concerns whether you're going to be able to meet some reasonable time frames and be able to get this done. And so right now I might come back with a few more questions later to you, but I think our chairman should ask, or unless there's other members that want to ask you specific questions, our chairman probably should move on to other people.
Can I actually do have another question. He was correct in telling me that very early on I was given that schedule, and I don't have that anymore. And before the previous meeting where we came down to the facility there, I had asked for another schedule so I could set that all up, and they told me that I couldn't get that. That was something that the contractor had to do.
I don't know about that. I think I read somewhere in there that they wanted, before they gave you another one, they wanted you to get a permit. I think that's what I see in the staff report. I think that's what they told.
Very good. Okay, thank you, Mr.
Well,
Secretary.
I would certainly be willing, with the help of a contractor, to fill out this schedule. It's just the things that they were asking, I really don't know. How long do these things take, and I don't know how to do that. But I'm guessing that a contractor would know.
You got it could get done real quick if you got enough money to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Valerie, if you don't mind, we'd like to move on to the other individuals who wish to address the board. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so let's start with this young lady sitting right there. Could you stand up, please, and identify yourself? And
Hi, my name is Melissa. I am the owner of the property's granddaughter.
okay, your name, please.
Melissa Guerin.
Okay, and your address?
1178 Cherry Oak Lane, Manteca, California. I in the beginning, after the fire, we originally had come down to try to get the permits. We had actually purchased material prior to all that, not knowing that it was going to be a problem getting the permits. We have to have my grandmother's signature, who can't sign, and so we weren't able to get the permits. So we did attempt to do that. We had actually purchased material to start that, but we're unable to do it. Since the last hearing that was canceled or whatever, we have done a lot of work to the property since we can't touch the house. So I have some pictures showing a lot of work that we've done on the property itself since then. As far as the person living in the motorhome, he really isn't supposed to be there. We really don't want him there either. I don't know. We don't know exactly what to do about that either. But here are the pictures. I don't know that I have that I took since the last meeting that we have. I don't know what else to say.
Whose motorhome is that?
Belongs to my brother.
Your brother? And your brother is the one that is fleeing from the police?
Apparently, we didn't know that. We didn't know that. I didn't know that he was.
I have a question. A couple of questions. Melissa, the ownership of the property is still in your grandparents' name, so that's the reason why you can't pull a permit on somebody else's property.
Right.
And so did you discuss with Valerie about pulling permits and how much money you guys were willing to spend on this property?
I don't know that it got into that much detail. We talked to her. I think she didn't know exactly what she wanted at that time either, or I'm not exactly sure. But for whatever reason, it didn't.
You guys have a ballpark figure in mind of how much cash you could pull together to get this property together as a family?
I don't think we ever really got that far. Yeah, but we're able to get together to help.
Okay, and the staff, what is the current balance of this account? And then, Ms. Gehring, while you're up there, is there anything else you want to tell us?
I don't know. I've done a lot of work to try to keep the property and the house. I don't know. I mean, I'm just the granddaughter. But I've done a lot. I mean, I've really tried, and I don't know. It's not up to me in the end, so I don't know what else to say.
Are those your parents behind you?
My father, my aunt.
All right. Is there anything else you wish to advise us of?
I don't don't think so, not at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Staff, do we have current pictures on that property, or do we need to take Ms. Gehring's pictures from her for a moment? I don't. Those are from 2018.
Other January 20.
Where?
Back
Back.
sheet.
January 19, 20.
Mine's got a hole through it.
No, 2018.
We really don't have anything current.
How current are those pictures?
There's a April 19.
Everything's from August 2019. August.
Whenever the hearing, first hearing is since then, it's been since then.
August 15.
2019.
Is our most current after report.
Yes, but that was taken in 2019, August. Well, these are her pictures. Okay.
Pictures, okay. So,
Okay.
okay. So these are her pictures that we're seeing right here on the monitor. How many are? Could you go through them, or I only see the one?
Working on it.
That just shows the dumpster. That's a before.
Okay.
I'm right next to each other, I guess, but that's a before.
Is that a well?
No, no.
No? Okay.
Or you load at the dumpster, or go on
Yes.
site?
Yes, these are all before. And
Anything present that shows the site today?
I didn't take any today, no, but
That's not.
okay, that's an after. That's an after. So all sides of the house are clean of debris now.
Billboard and security?
Yeah, the house. That's an after on the other side. The entire house is now free. There's no debris along the house at all on any side.
So communication between
Hasn't been so great.
what I'm hearing though is your family want to restore it. Grant now wants to restore it.
I believe so.
One that has the power of attorney, although we don't know that for sure. I mean, building department would have to have the legal documents to be able to confirm that she has power to do it.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anything else you wish to say to us, ma'am?
No, I don't think so. Not at this time. But
Okay. Thank you. Now, the next young lady that's sitting next to you, did you wish to address us?
Yes, my name's Sharon Stinder. I live on the property. It's my parents' property.
Okay.
Pardon me? I didn't understand what the question was. Yeah, there's a mobile home.
And that's where you live now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we moved that on there when my grandmother got old, and they moved that there for her. She's passed away. We're staying me and my husband are staying in it, and We want to fix the place up. All of us kids grew up in there. All of our my parents' grandkids grew up there. My dad worked 2 jobs to buy that place. I just want to fix it back up so that we can have the property back.
So how do you do that if you don't?
I don't know. I've had contractors come out there, and they said it'd be about $3,000 to fix the house. It was not burnt that bad.
Well, to be real frank with you, I don't believe $3,000 from the pictures.
I know. I should have got that. You should have got a written statement from them.
But what they're telling you to fix and what's required to be fixed are 2 different things. You have a huge list of things that are not compliant, and because so much time has gone by.
On the house or the whole property?
Yes, on the house.
We're talking about the structure.
Structure only. And since the fire, now you're going to have to, because of the damage, now you have to retrofit and bring the home up to current date code. You can't just put a roof on it or.
No, these were contractors.
I understand, but that you were talking about all new plumbing, all new electrical.
We had one time requested a list of what needs to be done on the place, but
you can still get a list and inspection by the building department. And if I understood staff's report right, the fire department wants to do a reinspection. They might have different items now too, but the building department, I don't know what the fee is for it, but I'm sure they'll come out and give you an inspection and outline the list of things that have to be done, if I'm correct. Okay. But you guys can do that. You've done it all over all the years I've been up here. And they can put together a list of what you have to bring up to code and what you don't. Not everything will have to be brought up to code, but a lot of things do need to be brought up to code and fixed. Really 2 different codes, really. I mean, California Building Code today for new structures, and then there's what needs to be to meet California safety code requirements.
Okay. But it all depends on what my sister,
well, like that's a problem. It sounds to me like.
Yeah, because I don't know if she's got power of attorney. I don't know what she's got. My dad passed away in 17.
When your grandmother passed away, was there a will?
My grandfather, my dad.
Bonnie Guerin is still with us.
Yeah, my mom's still alive. It's her property.
Her house.
And my mom has dementia, or at least I think she has dementia, but she's never been, as far as I know, she has never had a doctor say that that's what she's got. But she wants to come home. She keeps telling me she's going to come home. For 2 years now, she's been wanting to come home.
Well, that's a sad disease.
Okay, so what we need to know in a perfect world, Guerin family, give us a timeline that you could accomplish all this that's required to be accomplished with your bottomless checkbook.
Pardon me?
Give us a timeline that you would be able to do all these things since you've taken since 2017 and nothing's been done. Today is a day for you to submit a reasonable timeline, and your failure to do that or for us to accept it requires us to make a timeline for you. And so that's what we're here to hear today. What is that timeline? And it has to be more than we have a contractor coming in on the 26th. It has to be a timeline from today till the end of this date on when it's going to be completed.
Well, it's been kind of a hold on everything with this virus thing.
Not in construction.
We can't take the dumpster was closed. We couldn't take stuff there. Although we did find only one of them that was
open.
open.
There's the Tracy Materials, and Tracy's open.
Excuse me?
We usually took everything to Lovelace.
Excuse me, forget Lovelace. It's closed. Okay.
Yeah.
You can go to Waverly Road, or you can go to Tracy Materials, and they're both open.
Excuse me? This is Valerie Guerin.
Yes?
None of us have experience in this type of thing and remodeling or any of that. And I was assuming that the contractor would be able to tell me what a
You've had 3
reasonable
years.
timeline would be. But if you guys know, can you tell me what a reasonable timeline would be? We will comply to that. But I don't know. I mean, I could say we could be done in a month, and then it takes a month to get a permit. I don't know what these things. I don't know how long that takes, but I'm perfectly willing to. If you give us something reasonable, we will meet that, you know?
We'll
we have.
give you a time. You don't want to propose one.
I just don't know what to say.
Okay.
Okay.
Still, if you don't give us
you
a
just
time
get-
frame, we're going to give you one.
Okay, can you just get a permit, or does the contractor get the permit?
The contractor can pull a permit this afternoon if he wanted to.
Really?
Gave him the money.
Not true.
Sounds like we need.
If there's structural things that need to be done, there could be engineering that's needed. It could take more than just.
Okay. So,
How about
ma'am, is there
how
anything
about if-
else that you wish to tell us?
How about if we get 3 or 4 contractors to come out and check it out?
You guys can do what you want. It sounds to me like you guys don't know what you're going to do. You don't know who has the authority to do anything. And so it sounds like we have one more person to listen to, and then we'll bring it back to this board and we'll make the decision for you.
Okay, so my question again, ma'am, is there anything else you wish to tell us?
As far as the motorhome, I was not aware that he was running from the law or whatever you guys said he was doing. I didn't know that.
They don't know.
Okay.
And they had come, I had papers that they said that that was already cleared.
Okay, ma'am. So it sounds like you don't have anything else pertinent to this issue. So thank you for addressing us. Sir, do you wish to speak to us? Okay, so as you heard my colleagues here,
Yes.
I think you got the idea that we're looking for a timeline,
Yeah.
reasonable timeline. But what is it that you wish for the board to know? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I need your name, sir, and your address.
Okay. Right after the fire caught a.
I need your name, sir, and your address.
Okay, I'm sorry. My name is John Norman Guerin.
And your address?
23956 South Alice Road, Manteca, California. That's the address I use.
Okay. All right. So.
And, the fire started in a little outbuilding, and it was next to the house. Caught the eave of the house on fire. We was out fighting it when the fire department came. They hit it with a hose. One deal put the fire out, but they got up on the roof and cut the eave of the house off. They went inside and pulled the drywall out of the ceiling. So there wasn't really that much fire damage. You know, they did more damage than the fire did. And we had 2 contractors came out and said it would be about $3,000 because they're going to have to patch into the house to make the eave come out. And it needs some electrical.
So you feel that's all that needs to be done?
So we had 2 contractors, and both of them said it would be about $3,000. But
That's fine.
then we've got some material.
I'm not going to question you on that. That's what you believe needs to be done.
Yeah.
That's simple.
I mean, and that's not that much money, you know. I mean, as far as a house, you know.
I'm not going to argue that either.
Okay.
But what you're telling me is taking 3 years and all this to get here for $3,000.
We've been trying to get a permit.
Well, I'm not sure if you've been trying to get a permit. It's not that hard to get a permit for that minor.
It's not me. My sister and Merced said that we can't get. They said we can't get a permit until she.
All your mom has to do is sign the permit application.
She's got my mom.
Her mom.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Or a contractor.
Huh?
Or a contractor can sign the permit application.
Oh, really? Well, see, we didn't know that. Now I know that.
The contractor can tell you that.
Okay. All right, and then we've been hauling stuff off. What in the last?
Are you prepared then to present the board with a reasonable timeline for bringing the property up to code?
One of the troubles is we've been living there for 60 years.
Okay.
My mom and dad put stuff in the shed. My mom collected a bunch of stuff. I collected a bunch of stuff. I went through 2 divorces and brought stuff out there, and we're trying to go through stuff and
I understand.
Dump stuff.
I understand.
And
I'm
it's
sure we all
hard
understand.
going through my mom and dad's stuff,
Yes, but back to the question.
Yeah.
Are you guys prepared to present the board with a reasonable timeline for bringing this property up to code, as you stated your intention?
Plus, I've been having health problems too.
Okay.
They wanted to put a stent.
All right. But I'm not hearing an answer to my question. Are you prepared to present the board with a reasonable timeline, or no?
Well, yeah.
What is it? Are you going to present us with a reasonable timeline?
Excuse me. Again.
Come on, Valerie. We're talking to this gentleman right now. He's got the floor.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. At this point, I think no one's prepared to give us a reasonable timeline, so I think we're going to stop public comment. About a year? Is that your proposal? About a year?
It's a proposal.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. We're going to stop public comment now. I don't think there's anyone out there who's.
I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm sorry. Hold on. My brother doesn't have any legal anything to do that. I don't want to say we want to take a year to do this. I don't think that's reasonable, and it's not up to him.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Valerie.
We have a contract.
Valerie?
Sorry? Yes.
Yes, I think we've heard pretty much all the information that's pertinent to the case. So at this point, we're going to close public comment, and we're going to deliberate and try to decide what we're going to do here with this situation. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Plus, we've been fighting that coronavirus. We've been staying at home.
That's fine.
Believe me, we know.
And I'm.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now
Mr. Chairman, through you, I'd like to make a few comments, and then I actually have a motion I'd like to move forward.
Please.
It is on. Can you hear me now?
Okay, Mr. Sanguinetti.
So, given that there's been no presentation to this board of any legal authority by anybody, regardless of Valerie's claim of power of attorney, and that I don't think we've seen a power of attorney. Have we, staff?
No.
No documents. So what we have is a legal owner of record that is not present. We have a brother and a sister that appeared to not agree on very much. And we have a case that's been 3+ years in the making, and we're not getting very far on anything. And there's been numerous attempts by our county to take action and get something done, and giving plenty of leadway for the ownership to get something done, and it hasn't taken place, which is kind of disturbing to me, given that there's been calls for service and we've been spending numerous amounts of money, and that somehow that property owner, your mother, is going to pay for. Some way or another is going to pay for, whether it's sold out of the proceeds of the property or taken out of those proceeds when the property's sold or whatever, in that, which isn't fair to her in that. And so what I see needs to be done is we as a board, we need to take action here. And I'm not necessarily recommending taking action as recommended by staff, which is to demo the house as they recommend. what I'm recommending is that, and this will be my motion, is I'd like to see in 10 days the ownership group in that present the power of attorney that's been claimed to the county environmental health department. I'd like to, in that same 10-day period, they can obtain from the building department at 1810 East Hazleton Avenue, they can request an inspection to determine what permits are actually necessary. Okay? And you heard from the building official that that can be done and there is no charge for that. So I want to see that 10 days, in 10 days. And just so you understand what the 10-day period is, it's 10 days from the minute you get the certified letter. It's not from today. So there'll be a certified letter that will have a board resolution if this passes board, and that time period starts then. If you fail to meet one of these time periods that are outlined, the board will have, the county will then have authority to move forward with demolition. There's not going to be any more playing games up here. Okay? And so then once you find out what permits are necessary, my motion is to recommend that 45 days pull out all necessary permits that are outlined through what the building department deems necessary. And the building department will be reasonable on what kind of permits are necessary. We're not going by CBC, we're going by what state health code requires. And that for minimum safety reason, health safety. This is an older structure. I'm not trying to make you bring the thing up to every bit of it code. Okay? And then we're going to give you 6 months to final all necessary permits. During that period of time, how all the debris needs to be removed from the site to proper landfills, and it needs to remain clean, and the house that's posted 404B is to remain secured for no entries in that. When you need an entry in the house, you can call environmental health and they can permit an entry in that when it's necessary. If the contractor that you go with needs to get in and do some inspections or whatever to determine what's got to be done after you have an inspection. Your contractor can get the building department to give you a list. It doesn't have to be you guys. And today's the 20th, and the 10-day period is on the 6th. Valerie's supposed to have her bid in that, and if that's a contractor and she does have a legitimate power of attorney and she wants to move forward with that contractor and use her power of attorney, she can move forward with that, and he can get that list, that thing done. Reality is, as long as you're moving forward in that, nobody's going to mess with you. But if you sit on your tails, then we were going to demo that house. That's my motion.
Okay. Discussion?
I'd like to see if we can do something about that RV that's there. Can we?
Not even posted. It's not part of our agenda.
I thought it was from the very original one. Okay.
Okay, so we're not going to address the RV.
Okay, then that's fine.
Okay. Well, then I have a motion. This is the motion by Mr. Sanguinetti. So within 10 days, present ownership or evidence of power of attorney to a representative of the Environmental Health Department. Who would that be, I guess? Sorry. Anyone? Okay.
Anyone that works under Dwayne's command.
Okay.
That's everyone.
Everyone. And obtain requests for inspection to determine what permits are necessary to bring the house up to code. Within 45 days, pull all necessary permits. And then after pulling those permits, you have 6 months to final the permits. All debris removed from the site to remain clean, and 404B to remain secured. If you fail to meet any of those requirements, then the county will have the authority to move forward and demolish the property. You understand that?
Okay.
Do you understand that? Okay, but do you understand what I just said? Okay. And Valerie, do you understand what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that was a motion by Mr. Sanguinetti. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Norris. Roll call.
Member Estrada?
Yes.
Member Norris?
Yes.
Member Muniz?
Yes.
Member Sanguinetti?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
All right, thank you all for appearing before the board.
Good luck.
Are we going to get a copy of that?
Yes.
Yes, you will.
Come in certified mail, and that's when the time period starts.
But it doesn't go to him.
That's actually is one of the issues is that I am in Merced and I don't get that mail.
Not true.
Where are we mailing their mail? West Ripon is coming certified mail to that address?
Send a copy. Send both of it, one to Bonnie
Can
and
you send
Merced.
one to Valerie too?
Okay, great. All right, thank you. So back to the agenda. We're going now to bounce back to the item number 3 on the agenda, which are appeals. And we're going to go down the list, starting with item number 1. It's an appeal hearing concerning the statement of expense dated October 7th, 2019 for enforcement costs for the property located at 5541 East Dana Avenue, Stockton, California. APN 159-200-06. Property owners Gregoria Ramirez. Case number Paul Robert 0544091, District 2. Half report.
Notice of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing was sent by certified mail to the appellant on May 6, 2020. The property was posted on May 7, 2020, with a notice of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing. The appeal of the statement of expense being heard this date is for San Joaquin County Environmental Health Department costs for time, services, and materials associated with a substandard housing enforcement case initiated on January 24, 2019, for violations of the San Joaquin County Ordinance Code, Title 8, Division 5, and the California Health and Safety Code, Section 17920.3. The appeal is for invoice IN 0322179 and IN 003302661 dated October 7th, 2019, or $927.20. $22 recording fee cannot be appealed. The appellant states that expenses and violations accrued prior to her taking possession of the property, change of ownership recorded on March 29, 2019. She did not gain access to the property until April 22, 2019. The fees were incurred prior to the change in ownership. Therefore, those charges should not be an additional burden to the new owner who cleaned it up. The San Joaquin County Ordinance Code, Division 5, Housing and Nuisance Abatement Code, and the California Health and Safety Code, Division 13, Part 1.5, State Housing Law, both require substandard violations be corrected by the property owner. California Health and Safety Code Section 17992 states that any person who obtains an ownership interest in any property after a notice of pendency of an action or proceedings was recorded with respect to the property pursuant to Section 17985, or any other notice of a violation of this part was recorded with the county recorder of the county in which the property is located, and where there has been no withdrawal or expungement of the notice, shall be subject to any order to correct a violation, including time limitations specified in a citation issued pursuant to sections 17980 and 17981, or any other notice of violation of this part that was recorded with the county recorder of the county in which the property is located. The notice of violation was recorded by San Joaquin County Recorder's Office on February 22nd, 2019. In accordance with the San Joaquin County Ordinance Code and the Board of Supervisors Resolution R90-620, the Environmental Health Department is directed to recover all costs from the property owner related to substandard housing activities. The Environmental Health Department has reviewed the violations cited and the costs charged to the case and has determined that they are reasonable and consistent with Board of Supervisor resolutions, the San Joaquin County Ordinance Code, and the Housing Program Activity Protocols. The Environmental Health Department recommends that the Board of Housing Appeals confirm the statement of expense dated October 7, 2019, and deny the appeal. End of report.
Thank you. All right. Belden?
Hello.
All right. Is there someone who wishes to address the board regarding this matter?
Yes, this is Gregoria Ramirez on the phone.
Okay. And could you give us your address, ma'am?
My address is 21686 East Mondy Lane, Mondy, Linden, California, 95236.
Okay. And what is the basis for your appeal in regards to these expenses?
I wasn't able to get any of the information because my the change of ownership wasn't recorded anywhere within the department. I couldn't get access to any of the information. I know that I used the wrong word by saying recorded because the actual title recorded last year, actually a year ago, but I wasn't able to access any information because it didn't actually show the change in ownership up until just a few weeks ago when I was able to get all of this information.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
So now that the change in ownership has actually gone through, I am understanding the fees and everything else, and I have been getting correspondence now at my address, where before it wasn't coming anywhere near me, and I couldn't make any reasonable requests or changes because I wasn't legally the property owner according to the different departments. So the only thing that I was requesting was that because the fees had incurred prior to the change of ownership or me having access to any of the information or records, that I not be burdened by it. But I was just asking for that consideration. Having heard everything that you guys already have to hear, I excuse myself and just thank you for your consideration.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Board members have questions? Norris?
Yes, a question to staff. Was the notice to abate recorded? Yeah. Is this the original notice of violation dated back in January of 2019? Okay. Therefore, this was on record and could have been caught by a preliminary title report, and if the buyer chose to proceed either without a report or they accepted the report, the obligation runs with the property, and therefore it runs to the new owner. So I motion to deny the request.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Norris. Any other board members have any questions? Okay, then we're going to stop public comment at this point. I have a motion to accept the recommendation of EHD and confirm the statement of expenses by Ms. Norris. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Mr. Muniz. Roll call, please.
Member Estrada?
Yes.
Member Norris?
Yes.
Member Muniz?
Yes.
Member Sanguinetti? Motion passes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for addressing the board. Okay, let's move down to item number 2 in the appeals calendar. This is an appeal hearing concerning the statement of expense dated November 15, 2019, for enforcement costs for the property located at 3507 West Sonoma Avenue, Stockton, California, APN 109-09012. Property owners, Angelique Macias, case number Paul Robert 0544626, District 3. Staff report.
Notice of tonight's Board of Housing Appeals hearing was sent by certified mail to the appellant on May 6, 2020. The property was posted May 7, 2020 with the notice of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing. The appeal of the statement of expense being heard this date is for the San Joaquin County Environmental Health Department costs for time, services, and materials associated with a substandard housing enforcement case initiated on July 3, 2019 for the violations of the San Joaquin County Ordinance Code, Title 8, Division 5, and the California Health and Safety Code, Section 17920.3. The appeal is for invoice IN 00332242 dated November 14, 2019 for $334.40. The appellant states she was unaware of any code violation in this home because the tenants from the previous owner did not let her take possession after purchasing it. The appellant was notified by a San Joaquin County Sheriff officer on July 12, 2019, that the Environmental Health Department was previously called for code violations. She immediately contacted Environmental Health Department to further investigate the code violations. She was unable to see any violations in person until she took possession in September after the eviction process. She was not able to make any corrections because the tenants did not let her take possession of the property. Once escrow closed, the appellant was unable to take possession of her first home. The tenants were supposed to be out due to the selling of the home. Unfortunately, they did not cooperate. The appellant had to hire AAA paralegal to assist her in a proper eviction, which wasn't the tenant's first eviction. She was unable to get them out without doing so. The tenants damaged the property and left behind outrageous amounts of debris. Upon tenants being legally served by June Valentine at AAA Legal Services about the eviction, they called the Environmental Health Department about these violations in retaliation and anger and to prolong the eviction process. Before this, they never had a problem with the home until they were notified legally they had to go. The home is in up to code now since she has taken possession. The appellant has also obtained the proper permits to do so. With her being unaware of any violations, she feels the need to dispose of any fees she is held accountable for and for this case to be closed. She was not in control of her home at the time. He has put over $15,000 in this home in the last 2 months just to bring it up to code. She is in the process of moving into it now. This is not a rental property. She purchased this for herself and she feels like she is being violated, punished, and targeted in our community by the Environmental Health Department for these violations that she was unaware of. She is extremely disturbed to know that she has an environmental case opened against her. If any fee should be paid, she feels it is necessary to contact the previous owner in whom this initial report was first written out to. The home was in the previous owner's possession at the time. The appellant is asking for this appeal to be granted, as she has already fixed 90% of the violations identified in her case. She immediately started correcting these violations. once she was able to take possession. San Joaquin County Ordinance Code, Division 5, Housing and Nuisance Abatement Code, and the California Health and Safety Code, Division 13, Part 1.5, Housing Law, both require substandard violations be corrected by the property owner. There are separate laws that address tenant-landlord responsibilities that are outside the authority of the Environmental Health Department and are not part of the substandard housing program abatement process. However, these laws may be utilized by the tenant or landlord as a matter between them to resolve these other issues. In accordance with the San Joaquin County Ordinance Code and the Board of Supervisors in R-90-620, the Environmental Health Department is directed to recover all costs from the property owner related to the substandard housing activities. The Environmental Health Department has reviewed the violations cited and the costs charged to the case and has determined that they are reasonable, consistent with Board of Supervisor resolutions, the San Joaquin County Ordinance Code, and Housing Program Activity Protocols. The Environmental Health Department recommends the Board of Housing Appeals confirm the statement of expense dated November 14, 2019, and deny the appeal. End of report.
Okay, is there anyone who wishes to address the board regarding this matter?
Yes, and my name is Angelique Macias.
Could I have your address, ma'am?
3507 West Sonoma.
Okay, is that in Stockton, ma'am?
Yes, Stockton 95204.
Okay, great. All right, what do you wish the board to know regarding this matter?
I basically bought the house, and the previous landlord was going foreclosure but still collecting rent from the tenants. She never told them that it was being sold. So when it was sold, they decided to stay in there and call environmental health once they received the eviction notice from the company I had hired to do so. I tried to get them out of the home legally. I gave them a 3-day notice. I also gave them a notice to pay or quit. I was trying to help them out, you know, and not just put them out on the street. And they weren't cooperating, so I had to call the sheriff department because there were squatters living in the house. And also, once I got them out, then I was able to see any violations. So I wasn't able to take possession until September, even though I closed escrow in June or July. And I was paying their mortgage. I was paying my mortgage for them to live in there. They left a whole lot of junk, and I got rid of that. I didn't sue them or anything. I just wanted possession of my home. Once I took possession, I realized that environmental health was called, and I started correcting all the violations. I have the proper permits that I had sent email, and then also I have a list of houses for rent I had given them, and I had tried to work with them, but, you know, they weren't cooperating, so I had to go through the whole eviction process, and I had to also go to court, which I won in my favor, and I did send all the proper documents to you guys through email.
We have.
And all my permits have been signed off.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
No, that'll be it.
Okay. Do any of the board members have questions?
I have 2 questions.
Okay, Ms. Norris.
Ms. Macias, you closed escrow with people in possession of the property?
No, they were renting from the previous owner.
I understand.
And I guess the previous owner told them that she was refinancing. That's why there was a for sale sign on the house. But she wasn't refinancing. She was selling it, and she never notified her tenant. She was just collecting rent.
So again, you closed escrow with the tenants in possession?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know how that happened, but that's what happened. I did
Because
close
you allowed it to
with
happen.
them in possession.
Ma'am?
Yes.
They can't close escrow without your signature and authority. You could have called 2 seconds before and canceled it. My other question is, are you aware that the county is only charging you 40% of what was actually done, and that the county is taking a 59% loss on this collection?
Yes, I am aware of that, but I feel that I wasn't in possession of the home to correct any violations. The first day I got my keys, I immediately started correcting any violations, and Michael had went out there and reviewed all the corrections that had been made.
So it's your contention that the county is responsible for making sure that you were protecting yourself in your purchase? 100%, even though they've taken on 60% of the responsibility?
Right. I feel that since the old owner knew of these violations, that she should get charged. I had nothing to do with any of the violations. I was not renting to them. I never had a lease with them or anything. I was unable to take possession of my first home until 3 months later, and I was paying my mortgage.
Okay, so for clarification, you're stating that you feel that the previous owner is responsible? Therefore, the county is not responsible. So this is a civil action.
I feel that the previous owner is responsible.
Well, I believe that if you contend that, that's something you could take up into small claims court, but I do not believe it is the taxpayers of San Joaquin County to cover your responsibility as an owner. Unless there's
right, but as the owner, I was not able to take possession. And once I did take possession, I put in, $15,000 of my money into the home. And like I said, all the pictures you guys should have, that it's been stuccoed, the windows, I put a new roof on it. I have done everything that I could to correct these violations. And if I would have known that environmental health was called, I probably would not have bought the house. And I actually have the home. I'm getting ready to sell it just because it's just been nothing but problems ever since I got it. I had to evict them, and like I said, it's my first home, and I just want this case closed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Other board members have questions for her? No? Okay, we're going to close public comments at this point, and
I'll make a motion to deny the appeal.
okay, Mr. Sanguinetti has made a motion to deny the appeal, and
I'll second it.
And I have a second by Mr. Muniz. Roll call, please.
Member Estrada?
Yes.
Member Norris?
Yes.
Member Muniz?
Yes.
Member Sanguinetti?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, ma'am, for addressing the board.
Excuse me? Excuse me.
So basically my appeal is being denied.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, Angelique?
May I ask why?
What address can we send your resolution letter to? The Sonoma Avenue?
Yes, but I'm asking why now. Why it's being denied. I mean, isn't this why I come to an appeal meeting? Is to hear why it's being denied?
Because the grounds that you put down on your appeal are not considered legitimate by the board.
As far as?
You should have known, and you can take civil action against the previous owner if you so desire.
But I didn't know, and the sheriff officer, Arthur Corona, had to identify
Ma'am?
the tenants that were living.
Ma'am, you asked me the reason why. I gave you the reason why, and we've already made our motion, and it has been.
Right, but I didn't know that they were.
We understand that, ma'am, but the case is closed, the decision has been rendered, and you're going to be receiving correspondence from the Environmental Health Department soon, okay? Have a good day. Okay, moving down to item number 3 on the agenda. This is an appeal hearing concerning the statement of expense dated November 15, 2019 for enforcement costs for the property located at 1616 West South Tuxedo Avenue, Stockton, California. APN 123-212-27. Property owners Naomi Jane Hobitzel. Case number Paul Robert 0544668, District 1.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
That one has been pulled.
Oh, it has?
Yes. So we're going to move on to the continued hearings at the end.
Well, good. Thank you. Give me a second now to pull that up. Okay, moving on the agenda to the continued calendar. We'll start with item number 1. The continued abatement hearing from the November 20th, 2019 Board of Housing Appeals hearing concerning the substandard structure located at 1628 North Golden Gate Avenue, Stockton, California. APN 143-12816. Owners Bruno and Rosa Tostado et al. Beneficiaries none. Case number Paul Robert 0541198, District 2. Staff report.
Notices of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing were sent by certified mail to all owners and beneficiaries on May 6, 2020. The property was posted on May 7, 2020 with the notice of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing. The owner was given over 30 days to correct the violations existing on the structures at the original posting dated August 15, 2016, and the violations still remain. San Joaquin County Environmental Health Department, EHD, received a complaint on August 10, 2016 that the home was in a substandard condition with no electrical service and surfacing sewage. On August 12, 2016, EHD conducted a complaint inspection and observed that the home had electrical service turned off and surfacing sewage at the septic tank. The home was posted with a notice and order to abate for substandard conditions. Following a site visit on August 15, 2016, the home was posted with a sewage disposal notice to abate. A follow-up inspection conducted on August 25, 2016 showed no progress, and a notice to vacate was posted to the home for a lack of electricity and surfacing sewage. On August 25, 2017, a status check inspection was conducted by EHD with the assistance of the community service team. The home and the detached garage were observed to be occupied at the time of the inspection. The detached garage was posted with a notice and order to abate and a notice to vacate for improper occupancy. On December 10, 2018, the owner, Bruno Tostado Sr., agreed and signed a compliance schedule. The compliance schedule stated that all violations would be completed by June 28, 2019. A status check inspection was conducted on August 1, 2019. No progress was observed by EHD on abating the violations present at the home. The substandard condition of the home is acting as an ongoing nuisance, and the dwelling requires over 75% repair. The detached garage will also require demolition as it is an accessory to the home. This case is being brought before the San Joaquin County Board of Housing Appeals to obtain authorization for the Environmental Health Department to abate the nuisance by demolition. The Environmental Health Department recommends the board confirm the findings of the violations and the posted structure, and authorize the Environmental Health Department to initiate the appropriate actions or proceedings consistent with the case conditions to include the vacation and demolition of all posted structures and appurtenances thereto, the removal of refuse, debris, solid waste, scrap metal, and hazardous waste from the premises, and or proceed with further enforcement action as warranted.
Thank you. Building? Okay, Sergeant, still on the line?
I am. Looking back at our calls for service here, we have approximately 8 calls for service since 2018 at that location, including an investigation resulting from deputies responding to the location after the house was posted 404B. Subjects were located inside, narcotics and other issues were discovered, and various other calls for service related to welfare checks, trespassing, disturbing the peace, and other county ordinance-related violations.
When was the most recent call for service?
Looks like the most recent was back in, let's see, January 23rd of 2020 was a trespassing violation related to a report of subjects in the house. It appears in violation of 404B. And then prior to that, the most recent would have been October 23rd of 19.
All right, thank you, Sergeant.
Sergeant, was it a meth lab at one time?
Methamphetamine was located within the residence in the possession of one of the residents who also had some warrants for their arrest at the time of contact while the house was in 404B status.
But was it a lab, or they were just in possession?
I'm not aware. We have, it looks like, quite a significant amount of calls for service dating back to 2003. I see a lot of drug-related violations here, but I'd have to go back and review each and every one to make that determination.
The reason
but nothing with regard to it being a at least confirmed methamphetamine lab within the last year or two.
The reason I ask, because if it was, then we would want some testing done of the soil and stuff.
Sure. I'm not seeing anything that stands up to me within any recent history, but while you guys are proceeding forward, I'll go back and research some of these narcotic investigation-related calls and see if anything is at any point or was investigated with regard to it being a drug manufacturing laboratory, and then I'll
okay, thank you.
I'll chime in and report back.
Thank you, Sergeant. Okay, is there anyone who wishes to address the board regarding this matter?
Yeah.
All right, ma'am, could you please state your name and provide your address? Hello? Okay, once again, is there anyone online to address the board regarding this matter at 1628 North Golden Gate Avenue? Sound like there's anybody wishes to.
I move to approve staff recommendation.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the staff recommendation by Ms. Norris. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Sanguinetti. Roll call.
Member Estrada?
Yes.
Member Norris?
Yes.
Member Muniz?
Yes.
Member Sanguinetti?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Hello? All right, we're going to move on the continued calendar to item number 2. This is a continued abatement hearing from November 20th, 2019, Board of Housing Appeals hearing concerning the substandard structure located at 4408 North Virgil Street, Stockton, California, APN 087-12205, owners William Floyd Edson, beneficiaries none, case number Paul Robert 0542392, District 2. Staff report.
Notices of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing were sent by certified mail to all owners and beneficiaries on May 6, 2020. Property was posted on May 7, 2020 with the notice of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing. The owner was given over 30 days to correct the violations existing on the structures. The San Joaquin County Environmental Health Department, EHD, received a complaint on May 31, 2016 that a house was dilapidated and that the roof was caving in. On June 16, 2016, EHD conducted a complaint inspection and observed that the house was collapsing and unsecured. The owner was contacted by EHD and advised to secure the home. The owner was advised to obtain a building permit and to have it finalized within 30 days. Status check of the home was conducted on August 8, 2016 by EHD, and it was observed to be secure. A status check inspection by EHD on November 15, 2017 found no progress had been made towards repair or demolition of the home. EHD posted the home with a notice and order to abate and a notice to vacate, as it was observed to be unsafe due to substandard conditions. On February 22, 2019, a status check inspection was conducted by EHD. EHD found that no noticeable progress made towards repair or demolition. The EHD inspector talked with William Edson during the inspection and informed him that a demolition or repair permit was needed to be obtained. On December 16, 2019, a status check of the single-family dwelling, SFD, was conducted. No progress was observed. During this visit, the detached garage was observed to have rotting exterior walls and a rotting roof. The detached garage was posted with a notice and order to abate. On February 3, 2020, a status check with the owner and Community Development Department building inspector was made. No progress had been made with the SFD. The detached garage was observed to have been converted to living space without a permit. The detached garage did not appear to have been occupied in some time, but it had a bathroom, kitchen, and a loft. The substandard conditions of the structures are acting as an ongoing nuisance. The SFD cannot be repaired because of the lack of a proper foundation and must be demolished. The detached garage will also require demolition as it is an accessory to the home. This case is being brought before the San Joaquin County Board of Housing Appeals to obtain authorization for the Environmental Health Department to abate the nuisance by demolition.
Building?
Still got a little more.
Oh, okay.
The Environmental Health Department recommends the board confirm the findings of the violations for the posted structure and that the owner be given A, 30 days to obtain all required repair and or demolition permits from the San Joaquin County Community Development Department for the single-family dwelling and either demolish or convert the detached garage into a single-family dwelling. B, 45 days to begin authorized work on the single-family dwelling structure once building permits are issued. And C, 120 days to correct all state housing law violations and to file any required permits from the San Joaquin County Community Development Department. If the above time constraint is not met, the Environmental Health Department may proceed with abatement action without further report to the board as follows. Institute an appropriate action or proceeding consistent with the case to include the vacation and demolition of the single-family dwelling and detached garage and appurtenances thereto, the removal of refuse, debris, solid waste, scrap metal, and hazardous waste from the premises, and or proceed with further enforcement action as warranted. End of report.
Okay, thank you. Sergeant? Are you there?
Yeah, nothing of relevance to report from the Sheriff's Office. Last call for service at that location was back in 2001.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone who wishes to address the board regarding this matter?
Yes.
Okay, sir, could you please state your name and provide your address?
William Edson, 4851 North Duncan Road.
Okay. So what do you wish to advise us of?
Well, I'm in the process right now having plans drawn to turn the garage into a house. And I can't get, from what I've told, I can't get permission to demolish the house until I have those plans. I'm waiting for an energy calculation right now. And then I'm going to try to start. You know, I've been trying to save up the money to pay the fees, the permits and all that stuff, and I think I'm there right now.
Okay. Do any of the board members have questions for Mr. Edson?
So what's your time frame?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure when I'm going to get the energy calcs. I'm hoping to be in the next week or two, but I don't know exactly because it took me a while to find somebody to draw the plans because of what's going on right now. So as soon as I get those, I'll be starting on it. As soon as I can get the permits for the house, I can get the old house torn down.
You know that housing is an essential business during this COVID crisis, right? So I don't know why it's hard to find somebody to draw the plans. But,
well, nobody wanted to come out there, you know?
No, I don't. No.
Okay. So
I called a few people, and the one guy I finally got, he didn't want to come out there either. He had a broken leg, but he drew plans by me giving him measurements.
So do you think you could get, you mentioned a week or two on the energy calcs. It sounds like you have the plans drawn, and so you're just waiting on the energy calcs for Title
Yeah,
10.
they're supposed to be drawn. He's just waiting on the energy calcs.
Okay, and so, and the engineering's done for the garage, not just the drawings?
Yeah, the drawings are all supposed to be done.
Okay. So, you think you could be able to submit the plans within 30 days?
Yes, I think I can.
Okay.
I'm in the process of trying to sell it, but because, you know, I'm not going to be able to deal with this anyway. But I'm going to go, you know, cover my back by getting the plans and everything so I can get some of this stuff started, and whoever I sell it to can finish it. I got somebody looking at it right now, but he's kind of, you know, not been, can't come up with the money.
That's not helping your case any, from my perspective.
Yeah. But I am going to go ahead, as soon as I get the energy calcs, I'm going to start on it and do what I got to do to keep things up.
May I ask what you've been doing since August of 2016?
Well, it was in, what do they call it, a trust for almost 2 years. I couldn't touch it. And shortly after that, I came down with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, so I was sick as a dog. I couldn't do much with it. I'm doing better now, so I've been trying to do what I can do.
Fair enough.
Okay, thank you.
What was staff's recommendation again?
A lot of people. So I guess I'm the last one of them. I have to go do whatever. When it happens, you have to
Whoever
stop.
speaking needs to mute their phone or stop speaking. Thank you. Can you meet those timelines, sir?
I think I can get the permits in the 30 days, yes.
What about the rest of it?
No way.
Well, I can't get, I can.
If you're not going to have
As soon as I
energy,
get,
you don't have energy calcs for 2 weeks. You submit 2 weeks later, that's given the county 2 weeks to issue a permit. There's going to be some red line corrections. I guarantee it.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about that, but that's what's going on right now, and I'm, you know, trying to get this done. I mean, I haven't been feeling up to doing this, but I've got to now, Phil. You know.
número de reunión. No, ok. Hay que esperar, ¿sí?
Understand what's being said.
Hello? Hello?
That was a
Yes.
whatever was said was muffled. You'll have to repeat it.
We're trying to get the address you guys have.
You're breaking up.
We are talking about the Virgil Street property. If you are not
We're
speaking,
trying to get your guys' address, so we go to the reunion.
If you're not part of the Virgil Street property conversation, please mute your phone.
Okay, Mr. Edson, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So let's go back and let's get this done. You're not going to get permits in 30 days. That's just a fact.
Okay.
Okay. So staff's
Well, how much time can I get?
If we gave you 60 days to get permits, that's probably something reasonable, but you're not going to be able to sit on your tail.
No, I know that. I really haven't been since,
4 years is sitting on your tail. Okay, so regardless, let's just move on. 60 days to to obtain the permits.
Okay.
Okay, and the reality of it is you're not going to get it built in 120 days neither. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
No, I know, but who knows what he's got to do to it? Is there a foundation under it?
Oh, the garage part is very a strong structure. It's got a little bit of
how strong it is. Strong and having a foundation are two different things.
Yes,
I've
it has
seen
a
a
very
lot of
big foundation.
that don't have foundations that are strong too.
It was built in 2083. Yeah.
Okay, so
it was built in 2083. I got permit for that.
In 2083, okay.
Yes, the garage was.
Okay, and that's a time warp. Anyway,
yeah. Oh, it's got a really good foundation. It's fixable. It's been a house for 30 years, but
okay.
My dad did it all without permit, so I have to go back and redo it.
Make a motion so that we can get through this. Okay. My motion is 60 days to pull out all necessary permits. The site is to remain clean and secure on the single family structure and the garage. I don't want to have any problems in that. And then I want to see you completed in 4 months.
Okay.
Okay. Final all necessary permits in 4 months. And if you can't get that done in that, then the county is authorized from our perspective to move forward with whatever they need to do to take care of the property. And that might mean demolition. I know it'll mean demolition to the single family dwelling. I don't know if the garage will qualify. Well, if it's not.
Well, I'll have that all.
Let me put it this way to you, Mr. Edson, you will not be allowed to have a garage on the property if you don't have a single family residence, because that doesn't meet zoning.
Yeah, I've been told that. But as far as getting rid of the old house, I'll have that off as soon as I have permits so I can get the demolition permit, and that won't take me very long.
Okay, well, you have 60 days to pull all necessary permits is my motion, and 4 months to final all the permits.
Okay, so any other questions for Mr. Edson by any board members? Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Sanguinetti.
Second.
Okay.
Hello?
60 days to obtain permits. The property remain clean and secure, and everything to be completed and final within 4 months. Otherwise, the county is authorized to move forward with whatever they deem necessary. So I have a motion by Mr. Sanguinetti, a second by Mr. Muniz.
One clarification so you understand. The clock ticks when you get the notice that calls this out, the resolution. So that's when the time starts. And if you don't meet that 60-day time period, you don't get a second chance.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Edson, one more question. The address you provided us, 4851 North Duncan Road?
Yes.
That's in Linden.
It's in Linden. Is that a
That's
good
my
address?
home address.
Okay, that's a good address to send your resolution letter to?
Yes, because I haven't been getting anything, so I don't know if it gets delivered there or what. But
Well, we have your address as 4408 North Virgil Street. That's where we send your
that's
mail.
why I'm not getting it.
Okay, so you'd
Okay.
rather us send your mail to the Duncan Road?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Member Estrada.
Yes.
Member Norris.
Yes.
Member Muniz.
Yes.
Member Sanguinetti.
Yes.
All right,
Motion.
thank you, Mr. Edson, for appearing before the board.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving down, item number 3, continued abatement hearing from the January 15th, 2020 Board of Housing Appeals hearing concerning the substandard structure located at 10802/10808 South McKinley Avenue, French Camp, California, APN 193-310-05, owners Salvador M. Jr. Chaparro, et al., beneficiaries, Western Progressive LLC, case number Paul Robert, 053-0471, District 1. Staff report.
Notices of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing were sent by certified mail to all owners and beneficiaries on May 6, 2020. The property was posted on May 7, 2020, with the notice of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing. The owner was given 30 days to correct the violations existing on the structure at the original posting dated August 17, 2009, and violations still remain. San Joaquin County Environmental Health Department, EHD, received a complaint on July 17, 2009, that a house's roof was missing shingles and was covered with a blue tarp. The complaint also stated that the house should be condemned. On August 6, 2009, the EHD conducted a complaint inspection with a community service team and observed an occupied converted shed. The converted shed was posted with a notice in order to abate and a notice to vacate for improper occupancy. On August 10, 2009, EHD posted the front single-family dwelling, SFD, with a notice to abate and cleared the minor violations by August 18, 2009. The EHD brought the shed to the Board of Housing Appeals on March 17, 2010. There were multiple permits obtained and renewed, but all permits expired. On June 17, 2015, the EHD received a complaint that the front SFD was without running water. On June 19, 2015, the EHD, along with representatives from Adult Protective Services, Disability Resource Agency for Independent Living, and the Sheriff's Office, conducted an inspection in response to the received complaint. EHD staff verified lack of running water at the SFD and posted it with a notice in order to abate. On June 24, 2015, the EHD received a complaint that the front SFD was a cesspool covered with boards, had rats, and poor electrical wiring. On July 9, 2015, EHD staff conducted an inspection and verified violations of the California Health and Safety Code. The SFD was posted with a notice in order to abate. On July 16, 2015, the water well pump was replaced, water had been restored, and there appeared to be some cleanup in progress. On June 22, 2016, the EHD received a complaint stating the red tag shed was still being occupied and that the front house was without running water again. On June 23, 2016, EHD conducted the complaint inspection and status check. Most of the violations to the residents have been corrected. However, there was no running water to the house. The owner did not allow inspection of the converted shed, but there did not appear to be much progress towards demolition of the non-permitted addition. A water provision agreement was given and signed by Steve Urban, the owner's nephew. Between June 23, 2016 and January 10, 2020, several site status checks and permit checks have been made. There has been little to no progress with the converted shed. The hanging light fixture and block windows are the remaining violations at the front house. All building permits have expired, and the owner has not obtained any renewal permits. The substandard and unsecured conditions of the home is worsening, and the property is acting as an ongoing nuisance, requiring ongoing public resources. The dwelling and shed requires substantial repair, and the owner has not taken any action to abate or resolve the violations. This case is being brought before the San Joaquin County Board of Housing Appeals to obtain authorization for the Environmental Health Department to abate the nuisance by demolition. The Environmental Health Department recommends the board confirm the findings of the violations for the posted structures and authorize the Environmental Health Department to initiate the appropriate actions or proceeding consistent with the case conditions to include the vacation and demolition of all posted structures and appurtenances thereto, the removal of refuse, debris, solid waste, scrap metal, and hazardous waste from the premises, and or proceed with further enforcement action as warranted. End of report.
Thank you. Building? Sergeant?
3 calls for service in the last 2 years, most recent being on 5/16/2020 regarding a subject in and about the property.
Thank you.
I have a question of staff. 10 years ago, this came before us, and I was here then. And we gave them a resolution of 1 week to obtain all permits, 6 months to final all permits, correct all violations. Here we are 10 years later, and we got the same case coming back. What happened to following up on the original resolution? I know you people weren't here, but it's still EHD. There was an official resolution from, John was on the board at the time, I was on the board at the time, and I don't understand why we're redoing this. We didn't follow up, and I know Dwayne is caught in a hot spot.
No excuses. I mean, the truth is we should have followed up and we should have caught it, and we didn't. And that's just a simple truth. The best we can do is make it right now.
Okay. Thank you for that input. Do we have anyone who wishes to address the board regarding this matter?
Yes.
All right. Can you state your name and give me your address? Okay, we're having real difficulty understanding you. Yeah, do you have us on speakerphone? That might be the problem.
Hold on. Hey. Hello?
Yes.
Use this phone.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Do you wish to address the board regarding this matter on McKinley and French Camp?
Yes. Yes, I do, sir.
All right. Could we have your full,
as it is?
stand by. Could we have your full name and address, please?
Yes, my name is Salvador Chaparro. The address is 10808 McKinley Avenue, French Camp.
Okay, that's your current address.
Okay, that is the current resident. I am, at the moment, I am staying with my daughter at 13495 Brookwood Way, Lathrop, California.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that.
Okay. So, what do you want to advise the board of regarding this matter?
Okay, you have been very indulgent in allowing me, but I've had some legal problems with the other person that was on the joint tenancy, and it was hard to do anything with my sister on there. My sister passed away last year, so I've come into possession of the property now, and I am in the process of cleaning up. It's a lot easier to clean up without anybody having to keep calling up and reporting me on fake nuisance calls. Same thing is when it was called on my daughter. My daughter almost lost custody on a fake call. I've had 47 complaints to the sheriff's departments about drug dealing and prostitution at the front house. Nothing's ever been done about it. All the complaints have been written up as civilian complaints instead of criminal complaints. The back house, I've knocked 3 buildings down. I've knocked 1 garage down. The back house is unlivable. I'm a third of the way done demolishing it. When you were out there last, you saw a lot of trash out front. I'm in the process of trying to get Delta to drop me off a container to clean up on that. I'm able to do a lot of things that I wasn't before because I don't have to deal with my sister on the title anymore. That was these last couple of years has just been spent on legal fees. I just got out of Chapter 7 last year, and I had to file a Chapter 13 to save the property. The board, or I should say environmental, has fined me over $18,000 in the last 12 years. I mean, I've had money going in and out. I've gotten over 14 permits to remodel and to clean up. I was finally convinced by one of the EPA people out there that it would behoove me just to get a demo, to change it from a living quarter to a storage unit. The moment I did that, every repair that I made wasn't acceptable. We were down to finally that I had to demolish the place. So, you know, I'm in the process of doing that. Since my sister passed away last year, I have been cleaning up. In January of 2017, things ground to a halt because my wife came down with cancer. And that's one of the reasons why we were staying in my daughter's house, because I was homeless. And now that she's been cancer-free for 6 months, I can get back to doing what I need to do. I have no problem demolishing. I got plenty of receipts to show that I have been continuously going to the dump and cleaning. The back house, I cut the power, the lights, and the gas from there over 5 years now. So that was the first stage of finishing demolition in the back. The front house, with all the trash that my sister left in there, I'm in the process of cleaning that. And it seemed that every time I asked for help or had a complaint, the complaint was filed on me. When I asked, they told me that because I am senior on the title, that I was the one getting fined, but yet the problems were coming from my sister and my nephew, and nothing ever was done about that. So I'm asking for your indulgence to give me some time now that I don't have to deal with them to finish cleaning this up. Most of the trash and everything, I can do it with a 40-yarder from Delta containers and clean that. Back house, you can't save that. That's, like I said, I'm about a third of the way done demolishing that. But there is some trash and stuff out there. And you have been more than lenient with the extensions they've given me. But like I said, there was extenuating circumstances. And I asked you to take those extenuating circumstances into advisement. I have no problem. You know, I've taken out about 14 to 15 permits for remodeling, for cleanup, for demolition. I do have to go get renew the demolition permit so I can continue to knock down the structure.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No, sir. Like I said, I know you've been very lenient with me, but there has been some things in there that were beyond my control.
All right. Thank you. Have any board members who have any questions?
I just want it done.
What day is it going to be demolished, sir?
Like I said, I'm in the process of demolishing it right now. It's going to take me at least 4 months to finish clearing everything out of there, ma'am.
Sir, if you hired a company, it would be done next week. So I need a better date than that.
It could be done in 2 days, but I don't have the money. The money has all been spent in legal fees to save the property. And like I just finished saying, the money that I had went to the payment of my wife's bills. We went through a chemo, the surgery, radiation, and chemo again. And, she's just barely been 6 months now that she's cancer-free.
Is the sheriff still on the line? Excuse me, sir. I want to ask the sheriff a question.
Yes, sir.
Is the sheriff still on the line?
I'm here.
He mentioned something, and I don't know if you were listening, but something about 46 complaints against him or something. Do you have any records of any of that?
I don't have any information pertaining specifically to the secondary address of 10802. The only records that our CAD system is showing is 10808. I'm not familiar with any narcotics investigations at that location. That's a separate division aside from patrol. However, that would be the first I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I have the copies of the master letter that I went down there down to the office to get, and it shows all the complaints that I made. And a lot of the complaints I got two characters there that were consistently there. Denise Foster, who has about 15-page rap sheet for narcotics and prostitution. And then I had a Martin Castillo in there, who was a town drunk.
That's enough. Mr. Shapiro, I don't need to hear that from you. I don't care about that. What I care about, that has been going on for 10 years, and it's had a resolution, and everybody has hardships in their life. Okay, we all do.
I know.
And that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm in the position now where I can actually do something.
Okay, I'm going to speak now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Uninterrupted in that.
Yes, sir.
And I will have a couple questions. Right now, you say you're demoing. If you're demoing things, you're demoing them illegally without a permit. Okay? So when will you get a permit?
I can get the permit this week. Actually, next week on Tuesday.
Okay. So if I give you, or we give you 7 days to pull out all necessary permits, you can get that accomplished.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're telling us you need 4 months is what you said to get all these permits finalized, huh? Is that what I heard you say?
Actually, there's not a whole lot of permits and that one demolition permit's enough to finish doing what I have to do.
The way we do it here,
it's a renewal.
Hey, wait a minute. The way we do it here is we say all necessary permits. I've never been to your site. There could be other permits that are deemed necessary. We don't know that. And so the way that it works is it's all necessary permits. You may have other permits we're not even aware of that are needed.
Yeah, well then I would have to go through your department on there and pull off whatever permits I needed. I can do that.
What you need to do right now is just listen and answer specific, and that's it.
Go ahead.
And so 7 days to pull out all necessary permits, and you had said 4 months to finish up the job. I think that's too long, okay? And that I personally think you should be able to finish this thing up in 90 days. And I'm not willing really to give you more time than that. Something more could happen, some extenuating circumstances within that could come up, and then we'll be back here 10 years again, and I don't want to be here again. And that we need to get this done. And so we need to light a fire to get it done. And I think, 7 days to pull out all necessary permits and 90 days to final them was what you deserve to have right now. And if you can't meet those time frames, then the county can do it for you. And actually, I'm going to make that a motion.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions for this gentleman? No?
No.
I'm not
happy. Okay, so
with
we have a motion by Mr. I'm sorry, Ms. Norris, did you have some?
I just want it to be on record that I think even 4 months is 90 days, 4 months, 2 weeks, probably more generous than a 10-year-old case and the citizens of this county deserve. So any time that this person is given is more time than should be given, in my opinion.
Thank you for that input. So we have a motion by Mr. Sanguinetti, 7 days to pull all necessary permits, 90 days to complete the demolition, or the county can move forward with as they see fit. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Muniz. Roll call.
Member Estrada,
Yes.
Member Norris,
No.
Member Muniz,
Yes.
Member Sanguinetti.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you for appearing before the board, or addressing the board.
Thank you.
All righty. We're going to move forward to item number 4, the last item on our continued calendar. This is a continued abatement hearing from the January 15, 2020 Board of Housing Appeals hearing concerning the substandard structures located at 1752 North Palm Avenue, Joaquin, California, APN 127-28014. Owners, Marie Wong. Beneficiaries, none. Case number Paul Robert, 0544957, District 2. Staff?
Notices of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing were sent by certified mail to all owners and beneficiaries on May 6, 2020. The property was posted on May 7, 2020 with the notice of today's Board of Housing Appeals hearing. The owner was given 30 days to correct the violations existing on the structure at the original posting dated October 31st, 2019, and violations still exist. The San Joaquin County Environmental Health Department received a complaint on October 29th, 2019, that the home had suffered damage from a fire. On October 31st, 2019, EHD conducted a complaint inspection and observed that the home had been severely damaged by a fire and had no electrical service, no heat, and no water due to a busted pipe. The home was posted with a notice in order to abate for substandard conditions during the visit, and later on November 1st, 2019, with a notice to vacate during a 48-hour follow-up inspection. On November 18, 2019, a complaint inspection was conducted by EHD as multiple complaints had been made concerning people going into the home. During the complaint inspection, the home was posted with a notice to secure. On December 10, 2019, NorCal Construction was contacted by EHD to secure the home. On December 23, 2019, NorCal Construction was asked to return to the home by EHD and re-secure it as the front door had been broken into. The substandard condition of the home is acting as an ongoing nuisance, and the dwelling requires over 75% repair. This case is being brought before the San Joaquin County Board of Housing Appeals to obtain authorization for the Environmental Health Department to obtain the nuisance by demolition. The Environmental Health Department recommends the board confirm the findings of the violations for the posted structure and authorize the Environmental Health Department to initiate the appropriate actions or proceeding consistent with the case conditions to include the vacation and demolition of all posted structures and appurtenances thereto, the removal of refuse, debris, solid waste, scrap metal, and hazardous waste from the premises, and or proceed with further enforcement action as warranted. End of report.
Thank you. Who's ever on the line, could you mute your phone for a couple of minutes, please? Sergeant, are you there?
I'm here. We have approximately 34 calls for service since October of 2019 at that location, to include welfare checks, peace disturbances, trespassing, restraining order violations, as well as an arson to a vehicle that took place directly in front of the residence.
Did you say since October 2019?
That is correct. October 25th, 2019 to date, 34 calls for service.
Okay, and the most recent?
Yesterday.
Most recent being May 3rd of 2020, related to a suspicious person.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant. Okay, do we have anyone who wishes to address the board regarding this matter?
Yes.
Okay, could you
My
please?
name is Marie Wong. I'm the owner.
And what's your address?
And my my current address now is 416 East Flora, Stockton, California, 95202.
Okay, and what information do you wish to present to the board?
The morning that I was in San Jose at the time that the fire happened. The morning I have the fire department contact me. I send my two workers go down there and security the place. But I did not have any. They can't do the boarded up because the tenant is said that she has a lot of things inside to remove. So we go up to another 2 days. And at 2 days, my two guys come over there. It still happened the same thing. And I'm sure that the health department has a problem with boarded up the place too. This lady, which is my ex-tenant, she make the whole front become a tent. And believe it or not, she living there. Her kid living there, which is two boys. And I know one boy is just get out from prison. And the other boy with the girlfriend and the baby, they're living there. However, when I came, she running to the store, to the house across the street, which is her friend. And so when I came back from San Jose, I go to the building department to get the inspection to see how much damage because I cannot go inside. And then after that, I went to the house to see prior to the date that I have I forgot the date. I'm 67, so I don't remember exactly what day is that. But anyway, I went to building department. I went to the building department and asked for the inspection to go with me. Before the inspection go out, I go to the house, and I was about 3 feet from my gate. She coming out, she pushed me to the middle of the road and called the sheriff department. The sheriff department, a young, seemed like he went to seen her before. So they talking, and the sheriff told me that advised me not to get past the gate, because if I get past the gate, they're going to put me in jail. At 67 years old, I haven't go to jail for a minute. So I'm not going to go and risk my life. So I listened to him, and he said that you can't not reach that because it's her property as right now. Still is her property. I reach out to health department, which is to ask for help and see if you can do anything to let me go in the house to clean the place. But they said I have to talk to the code enforcement. I go to code enforcement, ask for help. They said nothing we can do about it. So I go to a legal. They said it to me that I have to give her 60 days notice because even that the place is already burned, it's not livable, she's still your tenant. I'm hardly to understand why she has a right to stay in the place that is not habitable. And she hasn't paid me rent even before the fire. She hasn't paid me rent for a year. And she is crying about her last period of cancer. So I just live with it. And, I can't say this the excuse, but I also have parents, 91 and 92 years old, old-timer, need my help. So I back and forth to San Jose a lot. But I have worker here every single day that I told them to go over there, and they can't not go over there. And I realized that when I walk in the place and she pushed me from the gate, she pushed me to the middle of the road, and I actually falling down.
So is she still there?
Sitting on the road.
Ma'am.
So she called sheriff.
Ma'am, is she still living there?
Yes. Yes. Hello?
Yes. Go ahead.
No, don't go there.
She's still living there, right?
Do you want me to continue?
Yes.
She's still living in there. And sheriff, the young, I hate myself that I don't remember his name.
That's okay.
He said that if I go past that gate, he can take me to jail.
Right, I understand.
And he's also tell her that you can be outside, but you can't not go inside. I said, if you go, can you go now and see if she's inside? But she's outside, but there is other members of the house inside. But he refused not to. And so, what is my choice?
Ma'am.
I reach out to code enforcement. I reach out to health department and sheriff and try to help me to get some kind of.
Miss Ong.
Ma'am.
Miss Ong.
Just to, yes.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
We know what's going on.
I can't hear you very well. Yes.
Please stop talking and let us ask you a couple of questions, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, so if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying you haven't been able to comply with the requirements of the Environmental Health Department because your tenant is there and won't allow you on the property and won't allow any corrections to be made. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, Mr.
Thank you.
Chair, and I believe county council can correct me if I'm wrong.
Her hands are tied.
But her hands are tied because state law doesn't allow any evictions right now because of COVID.
That is correct.
Can I say something?
Stand by, ma'am. Let us.
And in all our
can I say something?
Hang on, ma'am.
Just stand by. We're talking now.
In all our wisdom of COVID, we're not in the phasing that we're going through right now. There's really no talk of doing anything to change any of that part of the COVID law that was put in place.
I would concur, and I would also say that in a recent communication put out by the San Joaquin County Superior Court, they're not even entertaining any unlawful detainer paperwork at this time.
And the judicial branch has been in communication on the state level, and the judicial branch, when they decide to open, they have a backlog of cases that are non-civil, criminal cases, that they must address first. Plus, they have to redesign the entire system, so it's going to be slower to get cases. I don't see how she can help herself or how we can even help her at this point. And unless we ourselves make it unsafe to occupy that building so that we can step in, we need to continue the case.
Well, actually, the way I see this, your own staff report on page 2 of 4 says that the dwelling is over 75% repair. Therefore, it qualifies for demolition. And under those circumstances, it's unsafe to occupy. And therefore, it should be 404B, and we can remove the occupants from the building.
And I think that the neighborhood itself is being terrorized on 34 calls.
So on that basis alone, can't we as a board demand that it be posted 404B and physically remove the tenants from the property? Well, then why are they still there? Sheriff, can you give us an answer to that? If it's 404B, they're not supposed to be there.
Sergeant, you still there?
Yeah,
Are you talking to me?
No,
I'm having phone trouble. I'm only catching about probably 50% of what's being said. So it sounds like you had a question in regard to people being at the residence when it's in 404B status. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's correct. And they're not supposed to be there, so they need to be hauled off.
I would agree. In looking at calls for service, the last 3 calls for service from March all the way until May, it appears that the only people that were contacted were not found inside the residence. The house is boarded up completely with no one around. There is evidence that people may be coming and going, but no one has been observed since March in the house or exiting the house.
And what, are they living outside in tents?
Yes.
So
we had a call for service. We had a call for service back in March. That's the only reference of a tent. There was some trash out front, and there was a tent on the sidewalk, but there was no tent on the actual property.
But camping on the site is illegal. And if it's posted 404B, then we want them removed from the property totally. Whether they're sleeping outside, camping outside, whatever they're doing.
Well, the property owner in this case would have to give us the authority for trespassing if they're located on the exterior of the residence. The only time we can make an arrest for the 404B section is if they're found inside of the
So then you can help me right now and she's on the phone right now, by giving us instructions on how she can ask for the trespassers to be removed.
All I would need is an email address from her, and we can send a trespass letter to her. And then in the event somebody is located on the property outside of the residence, we can act on her behalf and take action for anyone on the property, as long as there's an agreement that any further criminal prosecution, that she would be prepared to be in attendance in court for that and testify to the authority she's giving us to act on her behalf for the trespassing. So if I could get an email address for her, I will gladly send her the trespass notices for her to fill out and provide back to us. And then any calls for service from this point forward would not require us to reach out directly to her.
Okay.
Each and every time we can go take action on her behalf.
Ma'am, Mrs. Young, did you,
yes, sir.
Did you understand what the sheriff just said?
Yes. Yes, but can I add something?
No,
Can
not
I
right
add
now.
some information?
Mrs. Young, not right now. Do you have an email address?
No, I don't have an email address.
Oh, man.
But I can either go into San Joaquin this afternoon and pick it up, because I've been crying for everybody helping to get her out of there, because I have to cancel the dumps and also the bobcat to clean up my place a couple of times.
Let's just go one step at a time, okay? Right now, we need to get rid of the people that are there, and there's a mechanism to do that, okay? They're trespassing on your property that is posted 404B. So by you filing a trespassing complaint, the sheriff can remove anybody they find, and you'll just have to testify in court if it goes that far. Okay? And so you have to fill out a form provided by the sheriff's office. And since you don't have an email address, the sheriff can provide one with your name on it and leave it at the front counter of the sheriff's office. Is that correct, Sergeant?
That's good. That's great.
Hang on, ma'am.
I can go and pick it up as soon as I can.
Yes, sir, that is correct. I will be here all day tomorrow. I will provide my phone number to you, ma'am, as well. We will have a trespass notice waiting for you to fill out. If you're prepared, I'll provide you my phone number in case there's any issue. You can call me directly.
Yes. Please give me your name.
My name is Sergeant Theodore, and my direct contact number is area code 209-468-5190. I will be here all day tomorrow. Please call me when you're on your way, and I will ensure that that notice is waiting for you.
I will be there early in the morning. 209-468-5190.
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you, Sheriff.
I will be there early in the morning. Thank you for the help.
So now, ma'am, once the sheriff takes away the trespassers in that, now we're stuck with cleaning up the property, okay? In that, because they will no longer be on the property. You will have to testify most likely in court.
Right.
Okay? In that, and when the court's open. That might be 6 months from now, 10 months from now, who knows? But at some point in time, you'll be called upon to testify in that. So we want to clean up the property, and then we want to, I'm assuming you want to repair the damages, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, so can you get building and fire to get with them and get an inspection to tell her what she needs to do? Okay. Building.
Yes, I will do it as soon as they remove, because I fear every time I come by, I come by every other night now.
Okay. So let's.
And I believe what the sergeant told me is right, but I don't know if he got a report or he actually seeing it. They still camping the sidewalk and then my gate. They're camping inside the gate.
Good. They're trespassing. And the sergeant, the sergeant will make sure people in his department know to look for trespassers on a regular basis and remove them from the site. Correct, Sergeant?
Yes.
Sergeant?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
That'll take a special notation on that address in your file book so that we can get this case cleared up and we don't have it coming back to us.
Yeah, no problem, sir. We'll get it taken care of.
For service since October 29th is costing us a lot of money, and we don't need that.
I believe so, because these people is one of a kind.
No, I understand, ma'am. I want to move forward. I understand all the other rhetoric that goes with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Can I say something?
If it's short and sweet.
Okay. I already served a 60-day notice, February 17, 2020, which is due April 18. But due to the COVID-19, I can't do anything.
Those days we're going to give you some new times right now, okay? Don't worry about those times.
All right. Okay.
Okay. So you're the sheriff. You're going to go tomorrow morning. You're going to pick up the trespassers form. You're going to get it filled out and give it back to the sheriff. If you have any problems, you got his direct line, and you're going to work it out with him. And then he's going to take care of. Our county sheriff's department is going to take care of trespassers. That's going to allow you to get this thing done. So that part is done now. Okay, you just got to follow through. So So in the next 10 days, we want you to follow up with the building department and get an inspection done by the building department to tell you what permits you need to get. And then write this down. And then within 30
I write it out right now.
And then within 30 days, we want you to obtain all necessary permits that the building department deems necessary to fix the fire damage and whatever else is found to be out of order.
Okay. And the building department is still open?
Yes.
Yeah, and they're located at 1810 East Hazelton Avenue.
I know where I've been in and out a lot of times.
I think you know quite a bit about this town.
Yeah. And also, when you mean 10 days from today or 10 days from the day that it's vacant?
10 days from the time you get the notice or from when they have the people removed. I can't control when they catch them there. People sometimes are pretty sneaky and they might hide until they get caught. But eventually the sheriff's going to catch them.
Yeah, she's one of a kind.
Yeah, well, there's a few of those type around.
Yeah.
Anyway,
10 days from the date that she's actually moving out, right?
Let us finish voting this up, and you'll get a letter in the mail so that you can get started.
30 days to pull out all necessary permits. Okay, after you have that starts after the 10-day inspection report. Okay.
Okay.
And then, how long do you think it'll take you to get it fixed? Is there much damage? Let me ask the builder. It doesn't look that severe from pictures.
But you don't know until you get
there. But you never know until you get there. So, it sounds like the people that are there are the reasons for all the calls for service. Once you get rid of the people,
that's right.
then you get rid of the calls for service. And so, if we gave you 4 months to final it, we should be good. And the reality of it is, if we don't get any more calls for service, and you're diligently working on things, we're not going to harass you. But if you
I'm sure that you won't hear from them anymore.
Well, if you're diligently working on everything, we won't come down on you in that and exercise our authority. But if you slack off and do not diligently work on it, then the county will take action if you don't meet our time frames.
I don't think that you have to worry about that part.
Either do I, ma'am.
Okay, so do we have any more questions for Ms. Wong?
No.
So is that a motion?
No, thanks. That's all I want to be able to walk in. Since the time that a fire until now, I don't even know how damaged it is. My two guys working with me on the construction, they said that it's not that much damage.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of damage, but the structure is not.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
So, Mr. Sanguinetti.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's
for me today.
That's a motion on my part, ma'am, and hopefully it all works out for you.
Okay, and
Thank you.
I don't think anyone else has any other
Thank
questions.
you. I appreciate it.
All right, so I have a motion.
Second.
10 days to get an inspection and all necessary permits. 30 days to obtain those permits as necessary. And 4 months to final, otherwise the county moves forward.
And the 10 days starts when the sheriff gets them out. You can't do anything prior to that anyway.
Okay. And the 10 days begins when the sheriff's department removes the trespassers. Okay. And I have a second by Mr. Muniz. Roll call, please.
Member Estrada?
Yes.
Member Norris? Yes. Member Muniz?
Yes.
Member Sanguinetti?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Wong, for addressing the board. You have a good day.
I gotta thank you.
Okay.
You saved me. Thank you.
All right. Moving down the agenda, we have no hearings. Are there any public comments? None. Do we have any additional staff reports? Okay, none. Okay, it looks like we have election of officers on the agenda.
like that we just did that.
Well, that was last year that I got. I don't mind doing it again if I get reappointed. So that's the only thing. Apply for reappointment. So. It expired in January.
So can we?
Want to table this till the next meeting?
Let's table it till the next meeting, and we will be better prepared for that as well.
Beautiful. Let's do that. Let's table that for the next meeting. We don't have a time or date of that as yet. And at this point, what time is it? It is 4:40 p.m. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
That was painful. That's what happens when you wait too long to have a meeting.
Thank you. Take care of yourself, huh?
That was an experience.
Yeah, thank God we weren't in the Hazelton room.
And you look good on camera.
That would have been even worse.
Okay, that's fine.
Hey, Jennifer.
Oh, my God.